All right, so if you would introduce yourself.
My name's Cliff Berger. I'm the Vice President here at the Triple City Makerspace.
And what's your passion?
My passion? Metalworking. If I have to pick just one, I enjoy anything related to metalworking, whether it's turning, milling, welding, shearing, bending, you name it. I love doing it.
So what kind of things have you done at the space here?
I do a lot of maintenance or tool upgrades is what I do. So the plasma table that where you saw earlier, that's one of my projects. So I enjoy building tools to make other tools. Kind of a cyclic cycle. Well, I can show you the plasma cutter. I can show you the little CNCs out there. I built both of those.
I think I got some of those. So you were building those? Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and where did you learn the skills you have for doing those things?
So it all started with I took a course at a local community college, manufacturing engineering technologies class, and it was kind of an introduction to everything manufacturing. So it was kind of a brief overview of different ways that we manufacture things, and that was accompanied by a lab where we would actually go out on a shop floor and use a mill, use a lathe. So that was my introduction to it, and I loved it so much that as soon as I could afford it, I bought my own little CNC mill, and it's kind of just been learning on my own since then.
And what kind of advice could you give young people looking to do some of the things that you do? How can they learn the skills, get better, or do some of the projects?
Well, obviously, makerspaces are a great place. The equipment that you use most of the time is big, heavy, kind of expensive. Not everybody has it in their garage. Local makerspaces are great. Local colleges are great. Those are probably the best starting places.
All right, and have you ever had any works that you were particularly proud of?
Yeah, I made a lot of cool stuff. I actually have a small production shop in my house, so I've made lots of stuff. I have my knife on me that I've made. It's pretty cool.
You fabricated all of it, or?
Yes, everything except for there's 2 ceramic bearings inside and the screws that you see. Everything else is machined from scratch. My fingers out of the way. I have a CAD model of that. The side plates are titanium, as is the center pivot pin. The blade is Damascus steel. It's a 1095 and a 15N20 steel. You etch it in ferric chloride to get the contrasting layers.
Cool. Cool. And have you had any epic failures that you remember?
Epic failures? Oh yeah. Anytime you're working with large machines, there's opportunity for failure. The first couple of times I even tried using a CNC machine, it was very, very catastrophic. Lots of broken tools, lots of ruined parts.
And how did you overcome that?
You just learn from your mistakes. It's kind of an expensive way to learn at first, but CNC's not overly forgiving when it comes to that stuff. But if something happens, you gotta sit down, analyze what happened, and make sure you don't do it again.
Is failure something that you get used to doing, or is it something you should be worried about doing all the time? What's your policy for handling failure as a part of the process?
Well, I'm never happy about it, for sure. I mean, it definitely comes with trying something new. I guess as long as I learn something from it, I'm okay. If I make the same mistake twice, I kind of kick myself. But failure's a great way to learn.
All right, and the question I usually hit everybody with is, who is a maker? Where does the boundary lie on that term?
I guess that's pretty broad scope. I think it's anybody who likes to express themselves in a creative manner, whether it's physical or not. I think there's as long as you're expressing yourself and your creative side, I think you're a maker.
All right, and as I go around to spaces, I usually ask people, what are you most interested about hearing about other spaces and learning about how they do things?
I would love to learn how, I guess maybe organization is a good one. How they handle like member onboarding, how they handle their, their finances, whether it be reoccurring payments for members or, budgeting for different areas in the space. I think we do a fairly good job, but I think there's probably spaces out there that do it better, and I would love to learn from.
All right, and one of the questions that came up early on in the trip when I asked that question was, how do spaces and members deal with burnout? And it came up several times after that. So it's a common problem in a lot of spaces. I'm
Yeah.
kind of curious, as vice president of a space, what your perspective on some of that is.
Well, I definitely see how people can burn out. There's times where I just don't want to do things either. But, here at Triple Cities, we try to get our members engaged as much as possible. Try to get them to feel some kind of ownership at the space so they want to participate. There's always the dirty task that nobody wants to do that, myself or somebody else on the board will probably get stuck doing. But I found that if you engage the membership as a whole, you'll get more distribution of the workload. So that's the methodology we try to use here, and I think it works fairly well.
All right. Is there anything about you personally or the space in general that you wanted to share that I haven't asked about? Any tips
not.
you can offer other locations? People looking to start spaces or people looking into other maker spaces to join? Any tips and advice?
Stick with it. There's definitely a tipping point between where it is just a ton of work and when you actually get to kind of sit back and enjoy it for a little bit. It is a lot of work on the front end. If you have the ability to purchase your own facility, that's been a godsend for us. We can really customize it the way we want. It's a lot easier to make your space useful when you can segregate your building how you want.
Alrighty. Well, thank you.
Yeah.